Hey, teeth lover. Welcome to part 2 of my 2-part series. The first one was the episode right before this, episode 36, where I chat with my friend Heather, who is an RDH that is a stress management coach for other hygienists. And she discusses and really dives into the correlation between chronic stress and burnout. And then she goes further into like the sneaky signs that you might be overlooking or maybe chalking up to like being normal. So go ahead and listen to that one before we get started today. But today's episode is super juicy. It's a little bit longer than my typical episodes, but there's a good reason for it, right? Everything is so important. She gives you practical tips and tools that you can start using today. I mean, she's learned these over the years and they've really been a game changer or a life changer for her. So she's sharing those with us today. So stay tuned in and you're not going to want to miss this one. So here we go.
Hey there! Welcome to the Lift for Longevity podcast, where our goal is to build our strongest, healthiest body. We all deserve to feel our best, but since we only get one body, we have to make sure to protect it by moving safely and with purpose to prevent pain, injury, and surgery. I'm your host, Brianne Novias, and I'm a fit pro turned business owner and also a girl mom. I'm obsessed with educating and empowering dental pros on how to take care of their body by training efficiently and building the right muscles to prolong their career. I know you're tired of spending time working out but still dealing with annoying aches and pains, getting rid of your pain temporarily only to have it come right back just a few hours later, or feeling like you never have any energy. You wish there was a long-term solution to get rid of your pain for good. Well, I'm here to give you real-life, actionable steps that you can take today to get rid of your pain, say goodbye to quick fixes, and have energy to live a life that you love. So if you're ready to get stronger, enjoy your life outside the operatory, and have longevity in your career, grab yourself a high-protein snack and let's get to it.
So when I talk to clients, and they're really, really in that down burnout state, we talk about giving yourself grace, being okay with where you're at, and then taking like the small step forward when you're able to really start pushing the ball in the right direction. One of those is joining a community, joining a Facebook group, finding, if you have other RDHs in your life, maybe even finding some RDHs online. Tooth Fairy Tish is another burnout hygienist. She talks a lot about boundaries and whatnot. That feeling of community, when I had other people in my corner, it was like, I'm not alone. I'm not going crazy. I don't feel guilty for not being able to show up for my patients. I don't feel guilty for not being able to show up for myself, because ultimately we can't show up for ourselves. We can't show up for anybody else.
Yep.
Another one is increasing your stress resiliency. By that, I mean, on a physiological level, we need to kind of train our nervous system to expect some type of spike throughout our day. At my lowest, my stress resiliency was so low. Even a noise that was unexpected would make me start to twitch from head to toe. But when you're in such that down, deep burnout state, you're like, how do I increase my resiliency? One of the most efficient ways of increasing your stress resiliency is working out. Studies show us that HIIT workouts it's a really good type of stress, hormetic stress, that helps to increase your stress resiliency. When you're that fatigued, who wants to do a HIIT workout for 30 minutes? Not me. So other ways to increase your stress resiliency, take a cold shower. Simple enough. But also it's hard to do things that are outside your comfort zone. And one of the most profound things that anyone has ever said to me was, all the magic happens outside your comfort zone, Heather. Go. In burnout, we often feel like we're in a very unsafe space. And that's a really stressful situation for our body to be in. So when I was increasing my stress resiliency, I was really, really respectful of where I was at. I monitored how my body felt. I took notes on where I was mentally, emotionally, physically. And I was also doing a lot of emotional and mental work on myself. I I didn't work for a long time, 6 months, because my burnout had gotten so bad. But other ways to increase your stress resiliency, other than like cold baths and stuff like that, just getting outside your comfort zone just a little bit. Whether that is, you don't feel like doing maybe like your workout for the day. Okay, can you even do 10 minutes of it? Just pushing that envelope just a little bit farther. It doesn't have to be on an everyday basis. It can be a weekly basis in increments. For me, I eventually, after about 3 months, I was very anxious to audition for a role snowboarding in a snowboarding commercial that they were launching out nationwide for a ski pass. And that to me was a really pivotal moment. It helped me feel like I could contribute. It helped me establish the idea that the world was a safe place again, that people were innately good. It instilled in my nervous system that I was able to accomplish something that I did not think I was able to do. And whether that's auditioning for a ski or snowboarding role in a commercial, or that's just pushing the envelope a little bit further and doing a 10-minute workout, or challenging yourself to go grocery shopping when you don't want to, just even like the littlest things can just help to bump up that stress resiliency just a little bit more, even when you're feeling so low. The last one is meditation. And I was totally one of those people who was like, I can't meditate. I actually went to a meditation seminar up in Red Feather Lakes in northern Colorado, and I fell asleep during the meditation. I fall asleep so easily, and I started snoring.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, mindfulness, meditation, like, oh yeah, of course it works on a psychological level, on a physiological level. It works. And the biggest thing around stress management and burnout is the fact that you cannot control anyone else. You cannot control anything around your circumstances. The only thing that you can control is your mindset. The only thing you can control are your reactions to things. And meditation and mindfulness are the number one thing that you can strengthen to change not just your physiology, but to change your entire day. So for me lately, I usually wake up with anxiety. I just have generalized anxiety now. But something that has really helped me that I've been practicing faithfully are bookends to my day. As soon as my alarm goes off, I usually pick up my phone, check my notifications, I clear my email inbox, I'm scrolling, and then I get out of bed and then I start my day. When that alarm goes off, I hit snooze, and then I mentally I calm down and I say, today's a new day. Expect the unexpected. I'm going to approach today with flexibility. I'm going to approach today with the ability to be fluid and to be malleable. And my nervous system, when it does go into that red state of mind, it's supposed to do that. It's doing what it's supposed to do. This is a natural response. But being able to create a resilient mind helps you to reframe your expectations through the day for yourself, for others, as well as how you react. Metacognition is when you have the ability to step back and notice where you're at mentally, and it's not necessarily about like not having expectations for your day. It's about noticing when you have really rigid expectations and how you can change that up. So for me, bookending my day, starting my day with mindfulness, intention, I usually do breath work and then another set of meditation after I've done like a yoga stretch routine to warm up my body for hygiene for the day. Just the ability to control your mind, control your thoughts, and to be very present in the moment. We just talked about how anxiety is future forward, how we're looking for like the what ifs. We can get rid of that by just being in the moment. It doesn't go away because we're wired to expect things coming up. But if we can reframe how we're approaching things, how we're approaching day, how we're approaching our lives, that can significantly reduce our stress response. It increases our stress resiliency, and it ultimately yields a much more rewarding, relaxed, and healthy lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the end of the day, the other bookend,
yeah,
it's about, you can throw in sleep hygiene. There's research that shows that like water, nature, all these things help to bring you back down to that green and that blue mindset. So usually at the end of the day, and I'm still working on this, we're all a work in progress, right?
all of us. Yep, totally.
I usually start out with like, kind of recapping my day, kind of celebrating my wins, thinking where I could do things differently, being really present. And then usually I fall asleep. Right. It's like, oh, I'm feeling really relaxed. And then I usually just drift off to sleep. I'm still working on staying awake so I can do my evening meditation a little bit longer. But if we can control, the only thing we can control, bottom line, is our mindset. If we can hone in and collect all these tools and refine them, that way, when we have things that come up in our lives, that come up in our day, oh, great, the patient has a broken tooth. Well, they showed up 10 minutes late and I have to take a PA. Oh, no, now we have to do a cold test and all these things. For me, just being able to fortify myself with these tools throughout my day has significantly brought down my anxiety, my stress, my expectations. If we go into a situation expecting the unexpected, we're already primed to react in a more positive, healthy way.
Yeah. I love that you're such like living proof of that, because as you know, it's like, all right, you get to work and you're checking all the things and you're doing all the producing and you're go, 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 go. And then you leave work and you're getting dinner and the kids. And it's like, you never take a fucking second to stop. And I see that when people work out too. It's like they're always trying to, let me do my squats and then my bent row or whatever I'm doing and get to the next exercise. And it's just like you can't keep going like that, because and this is a whole nother podcast episode or Zoom call or whatever we want to do. Like physical stress and mental stress go hand in hand. So, and that's why I love talking to you. I mean, I'll have people come to me saying like, oh, I want to work out, but I'm burnt out. And I immediately direct them to you. I'm like, I don't even want you to consider physical activity until we figure out what's going on with your stress, because physical stress, our body is under stress when we're exercising, so it's only going to make things worse. But I think the biggest theme, I mean, mindset's a great theme that I always kind of circle back to, is just awareness, right?
Yes.
I know my ergo shit. Okay, well, at least you know that, so that you know how to fix it, instead of just going through your day and then you're like, well, I don't know why I hurt. If you know you need to work on your ergo, then we can work on your ergo, right? If you know that oh, I'm having this weird pain, maybe this exercise isn't great for me, then we can maybe learn a different exercise, right? Or, oh, well, I don't feel like going out for the past month. Well, maybe there's just being aware, because our body, it tells us what to do. It gives us signs. And if we're not staying present, right? If we're focusing on either the past or the future, we can't be aware of what's going on with our body. And then we're like 50 years old and we're like, well, where the hell did my life go? Maybe
Right.
not 50, 60, I don't know, but like, it's just about, and being intentional with things that you do, like you said, and boundaries. Oh God, that's a whole nother episode. I'm so like a big believer, because people feel bad. They don't want to say no. Well, boundaries aren't to keep people out. It's not a negative thing. It's to keep your peace, right? To keep your, it's to protect yourself and take care of yourself. So it's nothing but a good thing. And people respect boundaries, right? So, once you set that boundary, you'll notice people will honor it. Like if you tell your patient, I'm not a hygienist again, as you know, but you tell your patient, look, I need you to sit back because I can't see, or tell them why you need them to do this because it hurts me. They're going to be like, okay, like I don't want you in pain, or, whatever the case may be. Do you know what I mean?
Right. I think, yeah, absolutely. And those it doesn't even just have to be a patient, but those even in your life who don't respect your boundaries, that's a whole nother podcast too.
Yeah.
You know, then we really need to start making some tougher decisions. But it really comes down to, for me, one of my meditations is satna. Let go of that which no longer serves you.
Yes.
But like I said, that's a whole other podcast.
Totally. I think we have to do like a series, like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there's just, I want you to be able to share your story, right? And I want you to just scream from the rooftops, right? Kind of what you've been through. And because again, hygienists are about prevention, right? We want to prevent injuries. We want to prevent MSDs. We want to prevent burnout. But then when we're constantly going through the motions, right? That's what I'm always talking about. You know, I hone in on physical exercise, obviously, like work out with purpose and intention, every repetition, every single set, every single workout, like, you know, take time and do things with intention. Otherwise you're just going through the motions, and life is not to be lived just going through motions, you know? And I think we get caught up on that so much. And so, yeah.
I love what you just said, you know, about prevention. We as hygienists, we speak prevention all day to our patients. How do we prevent gingivitis? How do we prevent perio? How do we prevent, you know, systemic illnesses that we're linking directly to that heightened level of bacteria in the mouth? We spend so much time educating and taking care of other people, but then when it comes time to work on ourselves and to prevent chronic stress, to prevent physical ailments, to prevent burnout, then we're exhausted. And dental hygiene does not have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. We work so hard in helping other people prevent things from happening to them. It's finding that balance. It's being intentional with how you structure your day. It's being intentional with your mindset to prevent all of these things cascading downward that can come along with being a dental hygienist.
Well, I also go back to what you said about flipping the script, because I always talk about that. Like we do need to flip the script, right? Because you're a perfect example of it. Or I have clients who are getting out of pain and now they enjoy their job and they take better care of their patients, and they come home and they're not crabby with their family. It's like, it is possible. So, you know, I'm proof, or my clients are proof, right? That doing certain exercises or certain workouts specific for hygiene's help. But then you're proof too that like you can, I mean, not even avoid burnout, but go through a full-blown rock bottom burnout and come back and still be able to practice and, you know, take care of yourself and your patients, so that we can all be healthy and happy. It sounds so cheesy and cliche, but like, isn't that what life's about?
That's the bottom line. And I think that's what every hygienist is looking for. You know, we love our jobs. I love my team. I love my patients. My patients are so cool. And and that's really what I love about hygiene, is the patient connection. But
I hear that all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I like the SRPs, you know, and it's basically like polishing silver, you know, when you clean someone's teeth. Yeah, I mean, we all want that work-life balance. And, you know, it's hard when you're looking at your friend who maybe works a 9 to 5 job, gets, you know, a full hour lunch or half an hour lunch, isn't in chronic pain, you know, didn't hit their word quota by 10 a.m. in the morning on a Monday. You know, we're all looking for the joy in life, the happiness, that balance. We want to spend time with more of our friends and family. And so when going back to, you know, talking about, you know, kind of pushing through that uncomfortable thing, you know, to increase your stress resiliency, not wanting to go do something social sometimes can be the one thing that you absolutely need to just, you know, to instill more joy in your life and to feel that happiness again, to feel that joy, to get that fulfillment. Just the other weekend, I was supposed to hang out with a good friend of mine and her 18-month-old, and I was exhausted. I couldn't see straight. I was like, you know what? I can't do it. Can we do this next weekend? And then the next weekend came around and I said to my husband, I do not want to drive into Denver. 15 minutes. I do not want to do that. He was like, oh, well, you know, Will you feel better if you do or you don't? Oh, okay. I know I like research. I like science. I know what research says. I know what the science says. It was 55 and sunny here, vitamin D, nature therapy, sunshine. It was like in the morning. So morning sunshine is a big thing to help with
Yeah.
depression.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting to spend time with a friend that I've had since I moved here. She was actually one of my patients.
Really? When her cute little 18-month-old, like who doesn't want to be around a little toddler? That's so
I know.
cute.
So cute. She just said her
Oh,
first sentence in the bathtub. She said, Mas agua.
oh.
um, so, and I ended up going and we ended up going for a walk around like one of the big parks in downtown Denver. And I haven't felt that type of joy in way too long. I've
Mhm.
been working a lot on this, on my RDH stuff as well as clinical stuff. And so I haven't been socializing a ton in person. And it was so lovely, and it lifted my moods. It made me go into the week. This was on a Sunday. It made me go into the week just feeling rejuvenated. And so like this is an example of just kind of pushing yourself to increase your stress resiliency just a little bit.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that hanging out with a friend was that big of a deal, but man, I'll tell you, when you are down in the dumps and you feel like absolute shit and you can't brush your teeth twice a day, the last thing you want to do is put on something other than your pajamas, drive, and go hang out with a friend. When really that's one of the really positive things that you can do to
Yeah.
really combat your burnout.
Well, it even circles back to like what you said, not necessarily community, but social connection, right? And I have
Mm-hmm.
a client, Kira, she talks about joy all the time and finding joy in life and just doing everyday
Mm-hmm.
things. And I just love that because, before working with me, she was in a lot of pain and now she's very active. She doesn't ever sit still. She lives in Alaska and she does all the things like every single time. I'm like, I'm
I love
exhausted
it.
just listening to you. But yeah, but she now like finds joy in all these things. And
Good.
I never forgot that she said that because it is important to find the joy. And sometimes it is, like you said, taking that step outside of like what you want to do, even if it is a workout, like, that cheesy saying, like, nobody ever regretted a workout that they didn't do or something like that. But it's true. Like, even if you do 30 minutes, even if it's yoga or strength training or whatever, like, afterwards you're going to feel better physically, mentally, but you're going to be proud of yourself too for taking that step. And then it's a muscle. You build that muscle, that resiliency over time. So yeah, I just love
Exactly.
everything you say, Heather. I just want to talk to you all day long. I think the first time we talked, it was like literally 2.5 hours. I'm like, okay, I have to go eat dinner. Like,
I got home from working. I jumped on that call. I told my husband, I was like, I'm going to talk to Brianne for a little bit. I don't think it's going to be more than like 20, 30 minutes. And he was like, that was 2 hours.
that you're ordering Chipotle online, door dashing with me. I did get sushi that night, by the way, and it was so
Oh, good.
delicious. But no, I think one thing, well, two things that I love about you is one, you know, I really care about my clients, and this is something they deal with real time, and I can't help with that. So it's like my goal to, loop in people like you who can, but I also just see how passionate you are about what you do and helping every single hygienist that you can to avoid what you went through. And I think that's, just so important because yeah, we're just all here to help, at the end of the day, hygienists one day at a time just be their best selves, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Physically,
And
mentally, emotionally, all the things.
yes, all things. And I am happy to be here and sharing my story. Hopefully we'll be able to do one where a podcast where I can really share my story. I'm working on putting together my own podcast too. That'll be coming out later in the spring.
Yeah. Stay
um,
tuned.
yeah, stay tuned. Right now I'm putting together a course, a couple different courses to help. For me, I really think it's important to understand the foundations of stress, the foundations of burnout, really understanding those things, because if you don't understand that, then you don't understand how to overcome it,
Hmm.
right? And how to execute the tricks and the tools and the tips and everything to stay out of burnout
Yeah.
and not to relapse. It's just stress management and burnout is such they're such a near and dear topics to me because I never thought I would be in the position I was with burnout. I was always a really tough person. I didn't show a lot of emotion. I didn't grow up in a family that showed a lot of emotion. And when I hit burnout, I felt very weak, very vulnerable. Emotions and feelings that I never really identified with and never thought that it would happen to me. It's kind of like, oh, like I eat well, I exercise, I'll never get X illness. And then it
Yeah.
happens to you and you're like, what's happening? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my world literally crumbled beneath me. I was also the only one working because my husband was working on our company, which we were not making any money from. So all the financial burden fell on me. And I think that also relates to a lot of hygienists, single moms
Yeah.
or single hygienists. And what happens when you're down and out for 2 weeks with a sickness or whatever, and that is a heavy, heavy stressor to carry when you are the sole provider. So I just want to show up for hygienists. I want to show up for hygienists in the way that I wish that a hygienist could have shown up for me.
Yeah.
I've worked closely with an EMDR therapist, and that has helped a lot, but it didn't really help necessarily with my burnout because we had to go so far back in my trauma history that
Mm-hmm.
we haven't even gotten to the burnout part yet. But I wish that I would have had someone who understood where I was at, someone who could just be in my corner and who could give me more insight. And I didn't have that. And that's really my goal, is just to be that hygienist for other hygienists who are just struggling, because I've been there professionally, I've been there entrepreneurially, I've had chronic health issues that have completely rocked my world, shaped my life. I've gone through 2 identity crises in the last few years. And that's all played into my burnout. So, yes, we're talking a lot about professional burnout, but I know that there are other hygienists out there who do struggle with autoimmune stuff, who struggle with being the sole financial provider in the family, who maybe don't have a partner or don't have a partner who can show up for them. I think the other day you mentioned to me that it really breaks your heart that so many hygienist partners don't understand the physical pain that you are in every day. They kind of poo-poo it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's really emotionally difficult. Like, that makes me feel really sad
Well,
to
I
think
mentioned
that,
to
like,
you like the first time we talked, I'm like, I'm so glad you have a husband. Like he just sounds like a
yes,
gem, and like
he is.
and most of my clients, their husbands are like, oh, he's on board with me joining your program and doing what I need to do. And I hear that a lot, but it's not always the case. But I kind of cut you off, but I think
Oh, it's okay.
I mentioned this too the first time we chatted, like as horrible and horrific of an experience it was for you, it made you the woman that you are today. And now you are allowed to be that vessel and even that like safe space for to a help other hygienists, but also to open that, not like put a stigma on like burnout, like to make it's okay to talk about, you know what I mean? And stop
There is a
hiding in
stigma, isn't there?
isolation. I think
Yes.
so. Or or denial,
Embarrassment.
or right, or I don't want to be weak, right? I'm an intelligent woman, I got a degree and I'm smart and I take care of my patients and I check all the boxes type of thing, but like you're
Yes.
human, you're still human at the end of the day. So
Yes. Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, well, we got to schedule our other call, Heather, because yeah, we have so much more to talk about, but I appreciate your time so much. I'm going to share your Instagram with everybody.
Okay.
Because I don't know if there's somewhere else, some other contact that you want to share with them, or if you want to, talk about your course that you're building or whatever.
The course is going to be focused, the first half of the course focuses on what is stress, the different types of stress, how stress works, and stress management. And the second half will be more focused on burnout, because burnout does build, it's like kind of
Hmm.
the top of that stress pyramid.
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually working on that this weekend and next weekend and the following weekend.
That's awesome. Well, hygienists love to learn, so it sounds like a great.
Yes.
Not only is it going to help them, but this is going to educate them. So I'm sure they're going to be all the hygienists is all about it.
Probably the best way to contact me is either on Instagram, which is at the relaxed hygienist. There's underscores between the relaxed hygienist. And then you can email me. My email is heather@relaxedhygienist.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure. And I hope like the audience just
Likewise.
has a million takeaways to this because yeah, it's full of little tips and tricks and tools and we're just getting started. So
We are just getting started. I hope
the iceberg
that
girl.
people could take away some little golden nuggets
Yeah.
as well. The course will have so much information, so
Mhm.
much information in it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, stress and burnout, they can't talk about it in an hour.
Well, the body is really complex too. I talk about people all the time. Well, I do this
Yes.
exercise. I'm like, cool. Well, like we have to work this muscle because this joint's affecting this joint. Like everything
Yeah.
works together, and everything you're talking about is so complex. Like people don't realize it's it's just not always that simple to fix things. So, but we have
Yes.
to put the work in. So, anyways,
And I am very open. My door is open. If you're listening right now and you're struggling and you just need someone to listen to you, I can be that person to listen to you. I can be that person who can just show up for you and you can vent to, and I understand what you're going through. Like I said, I want to be the hygienist that I wish I had when I
mhm.
was in the pits of burnout despair. I wish that I would have had that support system.
Well, you are because I can vouch for that. I've sent many clients your way, and you immediately connect with them and help them. So you are helping people already. And yeah, it's just the tip of the iceberg, like I said. So so excited. Well, thank you. Enjoy your weekend.
Yes, you too. Get some more sushi.
Yeah, I think I will. Thank you. All right. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Brianne.
Bye.
I feel like I have no words for after this episode because she's just so amazing and such a genuine human and soul. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to connect her with other hygienists. She's helped some of my clients. I've referred her out. And, it's so important that we really hone in on best practices, whether it be self-care or setting boundaries, right? There's so many different avenues we can go. But just make sure that you're aware of how you're feeling. Please reach out to her. Don't hesitate. She really is that vessel, that she didn't have when she was a younger hygienist. So that's her mission and her main objective, to help other hygienists. So take advantage. She is such a valuable connection, resource. I can't say enough nice things about her. So seriously, reach out to her. I am going to put her information in the show notes, but it's The Relaxed Hygienist on Instagram, or you can email her directly at heather@relaxedhygienist.com. Until next time, have a great weekend.
Thank you so much for listening in today. I hope you got a takeaway from this episode. And if you did, would you be so kind to share it with another dental pro you think would benefit from it? I know you love learning, and chances are that they do too. Also, I would love to connect with you on Instagram, so go ahead and head over to the Lift for Longevity podcast page or follow me at Built by Brianne. If you shoot me a message saying hello, I will personally respond because I love chatting with dental pros. Before you go, though, I want to let you know that I appreciate you and what you do, and I hope to chat soon. Until next time, stay strong.